We're getting off of here. We're getting off to a strong start, right? And so it is 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles, Tuesday, the 3rd of March, AD 2026. And we're going to have a fun show, hopefully, all right? You can call in 1-888-775-3773, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 Pacific time. TheHakeReport.com. And if you'd like, you are welcome to Super Chat via buymeacoffee.com/TheHakeReport or other platforms as well, okay? Cash App, James Anton Hake on Cash App, or just directly through whatever you're watching, if you are watching live on the YouTube or Rumble or wherever. I'm live on other platforms as well, I presume. Thank you to Jesse Lee Peterson rating the stream over there on YouTube, I see. Let's see if Rumble did it. Let's see here. I'm showing this. Isn't that nice? Did it switch? Here, let me do it now. If I go here and go boom. Boom. Okay, nice. Yeah, rating the stream. Wonder if where's Pastor Shadowley? Hope he's doing all right. Nice. Anyway, Thor Mode gave a super chat early on right here, and he achieved our goal. Thank you, sir. With no message. Thank you, Thor Mode 9. We'll be talking about whatever you'd like, pretty much, right? Whatever you would like. See, look, here's Hake on the Twitter. Yep, sure enough, going live on X. Not Twitter, we don't call it that. Because we're Elon Musk super fans. Take everything that you hear here with a grain of salt, all right? No endorsement necessarily implied, nor opposition. Okay? Agree or disagree, or neither agree nor disagree. I was thinking about how this war thing going on, and it's pulling people's egos to go crazy. But in reality, you don't care. Right? Be serious. Be serious. Now, I get that people dying. I heard that 6 Americans so far, at least the last report I read, have died, gone, no longer with us. That's rough. Rest in peace. Those 6 men, I presume, but there may be some civilians too. I'm not sure. So I will read your coffees, y'all. Buymeacoffee.com/TheHakeReport. And we're going to have a fun, hopefully. All right. Loosey-goosey. The Hake Report. So, oh, hold up. I have to pull up this thing. Let me jigger. So anyway, y'all, let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Here we go.
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how y'all doing? I'm fine. Isn't that pretty? If you're out there, do you really care about the war? Terrible. What a mess. We're looking at the beach. This looks like Manhattan Beach, I believe. So, nice. Nice. I want to get to a few news items and old news items. It wouldn't be the Hake report without a little bit of old news. One of these things I wanted to point out to you. Hamas trusted our greatest president, Trump. And yes, they did. Oh, there was some supers that I didn't get to either. Did I do chest day on Friday? I don't remember. Hamas shifted in trust toward Trump following Israel's Doha strike. According to reports, multiple reports, Hamas shifted their stance toward Donald Trump after he publicly rebuked Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for ordering an airstrike in Doha, Qatar, in September 2025. A few months back now. Feels like it's longer than that. October, November, December, January, February, March. About 6 months ago. Okay, I suppose that could be. Plus or minus. The strike targeted a residential compound housing senior Hamas political leaders engaged in ceasefire negotiations mediated by Qatar. Leaders survived. Attack killed a Qatari security officer and the son of a Hamas official, Khalil al-Ayya, sparking outrage across the Arab world. Trump previously maintained a close relationship with Netanyahu, responded with rare public criticism, calling the strike reckless, stating he was very unhappy about every aspect. His administration emphasized the U.S. was not consulted. White House officials conveyed fury over the violation of Qatari sovereignty. A key U.S. ally hosting 10,000 American troops at Al Udeid Air Base. So NBC News, New York Slimes, the Far Left Guardian, BBC, Foreign Outlet, CNBC. Oh, I don't know if that one is accurate. Well, maybe it touches on it. And so Trump put diplomatic pressure and he got a peace deal breakthrough out of that. Following the Doha strike, Trump leveraged the incident to increase pressure on Netanyahu, demanding accountability and pushing for resolution on the Gaza conflict. Right? He orchestrated a phone call from the Oval Office in which Netanyahu, was Netanyahu old school like this, or was he young people like this? Netanyahu apologized to the Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani, an unprecedented diplomatic move. This moment described by U.S. officials as a turning point that forced Israel into position to submit to peace. Hamas had long distrusted Trump, viewed his strong response as a sign of impartiality. Trump is impartial, not partial. Despite past rhetoric calling Trump a racist and dismissing his Gaza vision as absurd, turned it into a beautiful resort, the group began reconsidering his role after he demonstrated willingness to challenge Israel's actions. Reports indicate Trump personally called into negotiations, multiple times, assuring Arab mediators and Hamas allies that the U.S. would guarantee the ceasefire terms. And there's this, hold up. Let me open up this Reuters report, because it was kind of interesting. And just to show you that they try to act like Bibi controls Trump.
When Hamas freed the last 20 surviving Israeli hostages, it put its faith in Donald Trump's ability to hold Israel to a peace deal. Yet only this year, the US president proposed expelling Palestinians from Gaza and rebuilding it as a US-controlled beach resort.
But the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
Hamas has called Trump a racist and a recipe for chaos. So what changed?
At noon today,
In an extraordinary phone call last month, Trump made Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu apologize to Qatar for Israel's strike on Doha in early September, getting him directly on the line to Qatar's Prime Minister. Trump considers the Qatari emir a friend and was angered by the strike, which targeted Hamas political leaders.
Well, I'm not thrilled. I'm not thrilled about it.
That persuaded Hamas Trump could stand up to Netanyahu and was serious about ending the war, according to 2 Palestinian officials.
Nice. In your face, y'all people who think even Hamas knows that Bibi doesn't control Trump, that Trump controls Bibi. Just a little throwback, little report there. By the way, shout out to Big Bump. He had sent me that same clip that you saw if you watched the Jesse Lee Peterson show from 1980. Trump looked like an old Baron Trump. Talking about how we got kind of disrespected or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Nice. You can't control Trump. Let me get to... So that was the Trump-Hamas deal. September, reported back in like September 2025. Let me get to John in Kentucky on the line over here. Kentucky John, thank you for calling, sir. What's up?
All right, so are you saying it was Trump's decision to go and bomb Iran? Is that what you're saying? Like that was his idea?
I don't know. No, I'm not saying that. I wouldn't even talk. I didn't even mention hardly the bombing of Iran. Other than
that's what y'all been talking about the past few days, ain't you?
A couple days, yeah.
So whose idea do you think it was?
I don't know.
So you don't use your brain. You just shut down and say, I don't know, and you're just a blank slate. You don't
yeah,
think.
Why would I make something up if I don't know?
Because you make up everything else.
What do I make up? I never make up
opinions.
stuff.
You got opinions about everything else.
It's like what? Name one opinion of mine.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Because
man.
I don't have opinions. I have facts.
All I know is most of the people who voted for Trump are not for bombing Iran. We didn't need to get in another war. We already got everybody else as an enemy.
You don't think Iran was already an enemy?
Yeah, they were enemy, but I mean, they weren't no threat. They were no threat. This was for Israel's sake. Because Trump said he already, got rid of their nuclear capabilities.
Maybe we had to get rid of more.
No,
maybe their leadership was a problem.
Israel wants to rule the whole Middle East.
Can you blame them?
That's point blank period. Yes, I can blame them.
Why?
First of all, because they're Satan. The synagogue is Satan. That's first of all.
But so are the other ones.
When they get so much power, Hake, they ain't going to need us no more.
Won't that be nice?
Then it's going to be over for us for real.
How will you figure?
Because they're evil, Hake.
But who's not evil? Power. That's not a really argument.
No. It's degrees of evil.
Well, so you think that Israel's degree of evil is kept in check by Iran's degree of evil?
What I see is you guys idolize Trump so much and you're so arrogant that you hate being wrong and you can't think for yourself and give your own honest opinions, that you have to follow a script.
But why have an opinion if you don't know all the facts?
Man, be yourself, man. You don't have to do whatever Jesse said.
No, but why?
Right?
Answer my question.
I am answering your question.
No, you didn't answer my question. Why have an opinion if you don't know the pertinent facts?
Because you're a human being and you don't have to just... most things you don't have the pertinent facts to, but you still get on these news stations and say all your BS all the time. So why pick and choose which ones you want to have pertinent facts to be able to offer an opinion?
I have plenty of pertinent facts that I spout off about.
No, you don't.
Yeah, huh?
This is a show. This is a show.
Let's say I'm wrong about those things. Why should I be wrong about this one too? Go off into La La Land and have a dumb opinion.
Listen, y'all call Netanyahu the super. What you call him? What super?
The dream
crew
team
or something like that. The dream team.
He's part of the dream team, but Trump is the head of the dream team.
He's Satan. Trump works for Satan. Y'all call him a Christian.
No, he works for Trump.
No, he don't. No, he don't. Everybody knows they blackmail Trump to do their bidding.
Now you're going way off into La La Land.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. No, it's
That's
not.
ridiculous.
No, it's not. I'm not the only one who thinks like that.
I know a lot of dumb people out there.
No, yeah, like you and I ain't gonna get personal.
I know I'm dumb.
Like,
I'm not claiming not to be dumb, but I'm not one of those dummies who believes that Trump is blackmailed.
Listen, you remember a while ago?
Yes.
You remember a while ago I called you and told you Trump was going to be the downfall of America, and he was going to start World War III. Yeah, I did that. I called you.
You may
and told
have.
you
I'm
that.
not saying you didn't, for sure. I'm just saying I don't remember.
He's going to start World War III. This is my prediction now. This will be the first time.
Is your middle name? Sorry, go ahead. Finish your point.
None of your business. None of your business on what my middle name is.
I was going to say, is your middle name Zenny? Because
No,
Zenny also is trying to predict that Trump is going to bring military.
This is it for us, man.
Do you expect missiles to land in our cities because of Trump?
Yes, I do. The important cities.
All right. So you are Zenny's brother.
And the plan is to take out the power grid. Everybody knows that. So America's not going to be what it has been in the past. It's only going to get worse, Hake. And
but
I think you feel that.
Trump is preventing that. Trump is working to prevent that.
Trump is going to listen. What's that guy's name that you said is y'all's next favorite president or best president or something like that?
Yes.
What's his name?
Fuentes.
Have you heard his detailed breakdown of this whole situation in Iran?
No, only a little bit.
No.
Yep, I've heard a little bit of it that he's not for this. He's not for what Trump
one
did.
Bit. He's to the point where he's talking about becoming Democrat. Ain't that something?
Yeah, he's joking.
No, he's not joking.
Yeah, he's got to be joking.
He does not want to vote for Rubio and Vance.
Well, that's getting ahead of yourself because I can't even think about Rubio or Vance. I'm busy with our greatest president.
Man, you busy finding stories to fit y'all's little racist narratives and scapegoat black people on everything when white people are just destroying the whole planet.
You sound like Zenny again.
That's the truth.
No.
I don't care who I sound like. I don't know Zenny. I've never met Zenny.
I know, but you sound exactly like him, and Zenny was acting mighty shrill yesterday.
Listen, all I know is y'all started off as MAGA. Y'all started, getting behind Trump because of the things he said he was going to do for America.
No, not true.
Yes, it's true.
Nuh-uh. That's not why we got behind Trump.
He's not doing what he said he was going to do for America.
Sure he is.
Y'all. He is Israel first.
That's your assumption. There's no evidence that he's Israel first.
Listen, man, you ain't got to argue with me, man. Just let me have my opinion, man. You ain't got to argue with me.
All right. Go ahead.
Let me have my opinion.
But you're silly if you think Trump is bringing in destruction upon America. Now, with this thing,
yes.
I don't know about this, but in general, Trump has been great for America.
Man,
I have a caller who wants to talk with you. Do you want to talk with Hayden in Texas?
Well, if you want to hear a bunch of insults, then yeah, I talk to him. But
okay,
if he wants to get on here and like be serious, I don't mind talking to him.
All right, so let me see if Hayden can be serious from Texas. Hayden, you're on with John in Kentucky here on the Hake Report.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey, first of all, John, I wasn't the one that threw insults at you. When we last talked, you were throwing insults at me. But
hey, man, get to what you got to say, man. I don't like you anyway. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
John, let me finish.
And stop stuttering because we ain't got all day.
Hey,
John,
let him stutter. Let him stutter.
You're interrupting
no,
me,
we ain't got all day.
You're interrupting me. You're interrupting. Hold on, John. Calm down. I know y'all have low impulse control. Calm down. Okay. John,
it's true. That's funny because it's true.
That's not true. That's not true.
He won't even let me get out what I call.
I don't have all day.
Okay,
When I get on here, I got to get back to the master.
John,
sir.
Calm down.
No. Okay, go ahead, Hayden. Go ahead.
John, the reason I called in is because I actually agree with everything you said today. That's the first time I've ever said that. Everything you said today has been 100% correct, John. So I wanted to call in and congratulate you.
All right, man.
Are you going to question your assumptions, John, now?
No, I said most of the people who were following Trump and got behind that MAGA movement, they don't agree with this stuff.
And now because they're turning on Trump, now you agree with them.
I got one more comment.
Okay.
No, it ain't. No, because we just both don't agree with going to war with Iran. We don't need that. But Hake feels like he has to support it.
I never said I support it. I never even voiced any support.
I know you take the.
I just point out that there's possibilities that you don't know, that there's stuff you don't know about.
Well, all I know is we're already 30-something trillion in debt. Why we want to be 40-something trillion in debt?
Don't worry about that. I've never heard you talk about the debt.
John,
well,
I got
I'm a taxpayer too.
I have a question for you.
All right, I'm gonna give you a challenge then. I'm gonna give you a challenge when you answer this question.
Okay.
Don't stutter one time asking me this question.
Well, it's because you keep interrupting me.
Oh my God!
Talk over you. Just chill out. Chill out. I gotta ask you a question. So who did you feel safer under, Trump or Biden?
I don't look at it like that.
Okay, but because
I know that both of those people are selected by Netanyahu and his people. Those people are selected. It's not a fair thing every single year that we only have two people to choose from. That's how they keep us divided. They have the Democrat side.
Let me ask it in a different way. Who's the more capable man, Trump or Biden?
Neither.
No,
well, one's got to be better than the other.
They're gonna follow. They're gonna follow the script that's given to them. They're gonna follow the script that's given to them.
Are you? You're not a flat earther, are you, John?
Man, I don't care about no flat or round earth. That's stupid.
Nice.
That's y'all,
John,
man. Y'all get in there and argue about all that.
John, I can't believe he called Israel the synagogue of Satan. That's awesome, dude.
That's who they are. They're the synagogue of Satan. And I'm not talking about your average. I'm not talking about your average Jew that's over there just living their life. I'm talking about these Zionist people who rule everything, all factions of life. They run everything. I'm talking about those.
That's right. You're 100% correct about that.
Oh, my bad.
I don't need your validation on what's right or not.
Well, I mean, no. My point in calling is because I've never.
You can just say I agree.
On anything,
Well,
I would agree with you on anything. So I mean, what I've been hearing today has been awesome, John. So your call today is telling me there is hope for you.
No, John is right sometimes. He's
you really
correct.
You really think black people are just so stupid?
Well, brainwashed is my term for it. I don't. Anger makes you stupid.
Hey, if anybody brainwashes you,
well, touche.
No, he's not.
Back at you.
Oh, you definitely brainwashed with the Christianity that y'all study is not the same Christianity that I grew up under.
Uh-huh.
It's like y'all are like cultish Christianity. Like y'all have I bet y'all don't have 10,000 people in y'all's church.
I don't know.
I bet y'all don't have 10,000 people.
Don't know. God, the few are those who enter it. Straight and narrow is the way, you know.
Yeah, few.
John, are you out of your phase of being calling yourself an Israelite?
Heck no, I'm getting closer to it because I'm getting closer to it. And
you are?
If bombs happen to hit America, just know that that's one more thing showing you that we are the Israelites. And you guys, you laugh about it. Listen, you laugh about it, but I'll give you some homework, Hayden. Go and look at all the prophecies about the Israelites, and then you tell me if they apply to blacks in America who came over here on slave ships, or if that applies to those white Jews who were set over there in 1948, because they didn't go through any of these prophecies. They don't line up in the Bible.
I feel like they apply to everyone. It's kind of like horoscope things. Horoscopes are so vague that they're like, oh my gosh, that's so me. I'm a Virgo or whatever.
That means you don't believe in the Bible, Hake. That means you don't believe in the Bible.
Go ahead.
No, I do. But John, I do want to say this. I do think it's ridiculous that you believe you're an Israelite, but I do agree. I do agree about this. I do not believe the Jews in Israel who call themselves God-chosen people are God-chosen people. I agree with you on that. Their actions contradict their, words and what they say about themselves. So I completely agree with you on that. I also agree whenever you said this in the past that power was given to the hands of evil or something like that. Yeah. I agree with that as well. Jews have had power since the beginning of time.
The earth was given into the hands of the wicked.
Yeah, well,
They're the ones who run the planet.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that.
They've
held power.
Listen, because you talk a lot, Hayden, and you stutter a lot, man. I can't. I'll be trying to wait.
Well, I stutter because you keep interrupting me.
No.
And that's because you're low.
I used to be a Christian too. I used to be a Christian too. Listen, I used to be a Christian too. But then once I heard that Hebrew Israelites speak and they talked about the prophecies, I couldn't go back to being a regular Christian because those prophecies don't match up with those Jews over there in Israel. They do match up with us because everything was taken from us. All our culture was taken away. The same exact thing happened to the Israelites. Israel, the true Israel, is not supposed to know that they're Israel. It's supposed to be revealed to them. That's why you have a low amount of us and we're steadily growing because it's been revealed to us. All you got to do is look at the prophecies.
It's also funny that you call us a cult, but then you're in the Black Hebrew Israelite thing.
Right. I was just about to say that.
Well, that's because y'all try to take the Bible and make it y'all. So I know y'all a cult because that Bible don't apply to y'all.
I feel like the Bible can apply to, like anyone can apply the biblical principles and find that they ring true to their own life.
But that's not how it works, Hake. You know, all those tribes in the Bible, those were real tribes back in the day.
Yeah, that's fine, but that part is less relevant to my life. I'm not concerned with that part.
I'm going to tell you why.
I mean,
because those tribes,
they're relatable. Go ahead.
Listen, those tribes had those names. They had their names. Those names were taken away from them by people like you, and they were given names by their people who colonized them. They took away their actual names. So, you had the Indians,
right?
All those tribes, they were the tribe of Dan. You had us. We were the tribe of Judah.
So I thought that there were like thousands.
They still exist.
Thousands of Indian tribes, and you're just lumping them all into just the tribe of Dan?
Well, some of them ain't even consider Indians. Well,
hey, John, I have a question for you, and I have a comment about the Hebrew Israelite thing after my question. So do you know who was in control of the slave ships? During the founding of America.
Yes, it was
Jews. Who was it?
Jews.
Correct. Yes.
Fake Jews.
Correct. And who sold the slaves to them? The Africans.
I want to say. Well, Africans aren't us. That's another lie y'all tell everybody because we got black skin. Africans aren't us.
Well, your ancestors come from Africa. That's where you come from.
Yeah,
but they're from Israel, Africa.
We come from the west coast of Africa.
Well, right.
That's another point.
Is Israel in Africa or is it in Asia?
Let me say this last point. Hey, can I say this last point?
Yes, sir.
He brings into another thing that kind of opened my eyes.
Nothing's wrong with slave ships, though, right?
If those so-called fake Jews are supposed to be the real Jews, how did they flee Roman persecution and go hide in West Africa amongst the blackest of people? How do white people hide amongst the blackest of people? You don't blend in. We blended in.
I'm not familiar with that story.
Africa. Yes, that's what happened to them. Go back and see what happened to our people.
Well, I know that Jesus went down to Egypt, but Egypt wasn't really black, or was it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Maybe it was mixed. Maybe it was diverse.
You don't know about people who got conquered. Every time somebody get conquered, the conquerors rewrite the story.
Yeah, I mean they gotta write stuff down if they can write.
Yeah, they gotta lie. They gotta lie.
Well, some of it's true, some of it's false, some of it's true.
Hey man, but I'm gonna let y'all virgins go, man. I gotta go.
Take care, John and Kentucky.
Name calling. He just accused us of name calling, Hake, and he just called us a name.
That's right.
No,
men are not virgins, by the way. That's a woman thing.
Well, yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, whatever. I can't really agree with that because I don't know if I should or not. But my comment, the last comment I wanted to make about the Hebrew Israelite thing was, I think the reason why he identifies with being called a Hebrew Israelite is a sense of identity. He wants to feel like a sense of purpose almost.
Yeah.
Because I've said this hundreds of times on the show that they have literally no. I think I said this on the last call. All three of us were together. That they have no history to be proud of. It just gives them a sense of purpose and a sense of wanting to feel important or whatever to call himself a Hebrew Israelite. But I mean, like all the evidence like counters them, contradicts them.
You know, I think this
You know?
Israelite thing, if I'm not mistaken, I think it started like 120 years ago, plus or minus, right? In like maybe the 1900s. I could be mistaken on that. But that's when at least it was documented to be starting to take off. And I asked him about the flat earth because I thought that one of the Israelites, according to Big Bump, if I recall correctly, believed in it was a square earth. It wasn't even circular. But
I don't know about that.
you know, and if you think about it, there has been a push on Black Americans ever since maybe just after slave times by the evil NAACP types to push that victimhood, oppression stuff mindset on them and resentment about identity. And as the out of wedlock birth rate went crazy, they became more and more disconnected from their fathers and from their self-confidence, God-given confidence, that they started to reach out for racial confidence.
Right.
So I think that that's maybe partly what's going on, is that they don't have God or fathers. Now, Jean may have had his father, but I think he did have his father. It was like an okay one. But the brainwashing, the brainwashing sets them so far away from common sense and like white people don't generally think about race. When you were growing up, you probably didn't even think about race. You were just fine with your parents, and you were fine with yourself, and you were a Christian, whatever. But blacks, they grew up thinking about race. And I guess, I don't know, maybe the minority thing, it makes them like in the temptation and the media brainwashing, politician brainwashing, black activist brainwashing. You can't get away from it. So they have this racial mindset. They're more racist than anybody, and it makes them stupid, makes them silly. Right.
I mean, he also brought up not too long ago.
Yeah.
About him being taught about you know how great he didn't use the word great because you would never say that, but I mean the greatness of American culture in school and stuff, and then later in life he learned that the Americans quote unquote took advantage of his people and whatever, and I think that has a lot to do with the radicalization of him and being so anti-white, and so he calls himself an Israelite and all this stuff.
Yeah,
it's just a sense of he wants to feel I hate to say it like this, but like a somebody almost,
Yeah, but normal whites like don't even think about the past accomplishments of whites and identify with that as themselves. But blacks, you'll notice the blacks are all into black history and black inventions and stuff. So, and you're right, it's so like made up. I think it's because they lack God, so they have to identify with somebody else, Michael Jordan or whoever else. Well, Michael Jordan is like old news, but
yeah.
But we whites liked Michael Jordan. We didn't care if he was black, but they're like, oh, we want a black. There's this brainwashing of wanting a black doll or a black hero or a black president. Just dumb.
Yeah, it's all about identity.
Great call, sir. It's fun talking with you. I'm glad that you got on with John in Kentucky.
Yeah, thanks, Hake. Again, I agree with everything minus the pro-black stuff he pushed out or whatever.
So do you think Trump is going to bring missiles to America, bring missile strikes upon America through this Iran war? Do you agree with that part?
No. So a while back he said that he felt safer under Biden than Trump. That's the reason why I brought up the whole who's better, Trump or Biden thing.
Wow.
That was back in January. Him saying that.
Really, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was. I think all three of us were on the call together. But no, I feel safe under Trump.
Yeah.
I think this was a wrong decision. Again, the Iranian leader was leading people to say, death to America and all this stuff. I agree with everything the White House has been saying recently about it.
Uh-huh.
I think the motive was wrong in that, it benefiting Israel.
Okay.
That's my only issue with it.
Did you hear? Did you hear Rubio say? Marco Rubio said something that it sounded like Israel was going to strike Tehran anyway, and Tehran was in response definitely going to strike us. So we threw the first punch with Israel. It's kind of like a guy walking up to you and your buddy's being belligerent. Let's say Israel being a little belligerent, and your buddy's going to throw a punch, and then these guys are going to throw a punch back at you, so you hit them first.
Right. This sounds like an excuse to me from Rubio. just me personally.
But it also sounds like it was that made it into like a war for Israel because we're buddies with Israel, and so you gotta stand by your buddy.
Exactly. Yeah, our greatest ally, according to the communists.
The communists think that? It feels like the communists are more like pro-Palestine. That's the one thing that I think of is like the anti-Zionists. The commies are more anti-Zionist. I know that the Nazis are kind of anti-Zionist, but the commies are anti-Zionist too. And the commies are going to be worse than the Zionists, I feel like.
Yeah, I think they're communists on both sides, the Zionists and the pro-Palestinians or whatever.
There's definitely that influence upon everybody because communism is basically evil human nature. So yeah,
exactly,
definitely. So in that sense, I don't even dispute that Netanyahu may be evil. I don't know. I really admire him and think that he's like manly, and it's way better than Obama. I wish that if it weren't Trump as president, I would wish that Bibi would be president of America.
Oh no! Oh no! that is a really. I mean,
because who else is there that has any strength other than our future president?
See that's so tough. So the choice between Netanyahu and Obama. Oh my gosh. I mean, I may as well just kill myself.
No, you'll be fine. I agree I agree with Alex in California. I don't know if I misinterpreted Alex in California, but he said life will go on. This is not catastrophe.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It may be a mistake. It may not be. All may turn out better than a lot of you guys are predicting. Maybe not you personally, but a lot of people are predicting.
Right.
Horror and long-term war. It may be over soon, or it may not. Wait and see. So
yeah,
nice.
I feel like the United States. I feel like we're going to get past all this stuff. It's just we're in the worst point in history in our country's history right now.
Yeah.
Even with Trump, but we got to get out of this, be independent, and just take our country. If it's been done, if it's possible in the past, then it's possible for the future.
Interesting.
And I believe that wholeheartedly that we can get past this. So
I really like Trump's can-do attitude about the best is yet to come. I don't know if it's true, but I really like that he has a he's always been kind of a positive thinker, and I do I tend to be kind of a poo-pooer of positive thinking.
Right.
But whatever he has, it's been working for him over the past decades and especially in recent years. So I appreciate it.
Do you know why I believe you are that way?
What's that? The positive thinking thing? The way that I'm not for the positive thinking? Yeah. Go ahead.
Right. It's because you're in California. It sounds like a joke, but
No, you may be right.
Where I am, I feel like I'm in absolute paradise. I'm in the perfect spot where I am right now.
Nice.
And Texas has been conservative for many years now.
Yeah.
I think it was last Democrat as a state was like in the 80s or something. But I mean, that's when the Democrat Party was normal, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have the same take as Trump. I genuinely feel from the bottom of my heart that the best is yet to come. It's got to get worse before it gets good.
Interesting, man. Right on.
But yeah, thank you so much, Hake. I appreciate you let me get on that call today. That was awesome.
Definitely. Take care, sir.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Before I get to your super chats, Jeff, Louisiana. Jeff, thank you for calling and holding, sir. Go ahead.
How's it going today, man? Everybody's talking about this war in Iran. Saying we're doing it for Israel. Trump stated in 2011, before he would run for president, that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon.
Wow.
That was back in 2011.
Good point. I heard that in every single run for president, 2016, 2020, and 2024, he emphasized, he was emphatic that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
Okay, man. And one quick thing, real quick, on everybody's saying it's for Israel, it's for this, it's for that.
Uh-huh.
The main reason Trump's going in, I believe, is if you listen to him talk and you watch. I watched this. I'm looking up on some of the histories and stuff like that. I watched a documentary yesterday. Last year, there was a girl in Iran that was killed by her father.
Ooh.
She was 17 years old. He stabbed her 14 times.
Man.
14 times.
Mm-hmm.
But what it was is her brother, and mama lived with him for all alive, and he was abusive. And their family left, and this little girl got a job doing makeup and painting nails and stuff. And she's hiding it from her father so she get money to move out and be independent. And she worked at a place. He didn't know where she worked. And he figured out where she worked, and he called me an appointment. And found out where she worked. And went for the day of appointment. And when she got to work, she seen her father sitting out there. And she called her mama and said, "Daddy's here, all this." Well, he killed her and stabbed her 14 times and killed her. It's on video camera. But he only gets like 3 to 10 years in prison because in Iran, they're, what's it called? I'm going to screw it up. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but the men are allowed to kill their children and get away with it pretty much scot-free, or like 3 to 10 years of max sentence, because they're considered protecting the bloodline, their own blood. So these people that's kind of all they got over they have no alternative to do nothing because the government sanctions that.
Yeah. And that's been that way since the 70s or whenever they took over, huh? I guess.
Yeah, and the Ayatollah, he wrote in a book. He wrote if a woman's going to go to prison before they execute her, he said rape her so she will not go to heaven.
Whoa, dang.
And that's the kind of people we're dealing with. And that's why Trump's trying to make the world a better place. He's trying to just looking to make money. And it's not just for Israel. I mean, think about it. You got people like that to state that kind of rhetoric, and that's the way they live by.
Yeah.
So people need to stop and think just before you take about, we're going to spend money, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Think about how many people's lives we're improving. 80 million people are living under that. And Trump did a statement here recently. He said they're calling to surrender. If they don't surrender, we will kill you. And he says, every one of you be dead. So just look, I mean, that's it. I got one last little joke.
Okay.
You know what the NAACP stands for, right?
Yeah.
Don't you find it kind of funny that the term is National Association for Advancement of Colored People?
Uh-huh.
And if you say colored people now, everybody's offended.
Right.
So, man, that's it. I'm going to a little joke, man. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. Take care, sir. National Association for the Advancement of who? Colored people. I'm colored. Nice. I have a backlog of super chats before I get to y'all's calls, if you don't mind. Let's see here. Thank you, Thor Mode, once again, sir, with another from Thor Mode. Why does Trump look like he's in front of a green screen right now? Question mark, exclamation mark. Are you referring to, is Trump like on air right now? Trump live. Let's see. So what are you talking about? Is Trump speaking right now? Let's hear. Stay tuned. We'll be live again shortly. So was this just now? We're in March 3rd. That was March 2nd. I don't know what you mean, sir. I don't know. What do you mean? Let's see. Did anybody... Cloud Bob's responded, and Jim in Alaska responded with laughing. I don't know. What do you mean? David A. says, Trump, please Google Trump ego quote and see for yourself. There are a bunch of phonies who are like, oh, drop your ego. And they're the dumbest, biggest ego people. I wonder if one of those is that guy who's in trouble over, so-called trouble, over the Epstein thingamajigger. That guy who's wanted to get with the girls, or he said, bring your girls, Epstein. Ah, Lord, leave me alone, please. Pop-up ads or whatever. Show me someone without an ego, and I'll show you a loser, Donald Trump. I wonder what month, when that was. But there are certainly... Every successful person has a very large ego. 1990. Show me someone without an ego, I'll show you a loser. 2013 on Facebook. Well, I don't know if he put that. I don't like to analyze myself because I might not like what I see. 2014. On personal ego. I need it for my own ego. Now I really have a big ego. YouTube. Or he said that. He also said he's the most humble person in the world. He's frequently discussed his ego as a source of strength, famously stating in 1990, every successful person has a very large ego. He further stated 2013, show me someone without an ego, I'll show you a loser. More recently, he mentioned needing to win for his own ego, stating, now I really have a big ego. Nice. Our greatest president. No wonder he's so great. Sometimes it takes a bit of ego to succeed in life. I don't know. Thank you, David A. Ask Ronnie /John/Baldman, says Thor Mode, how many personalities he has. Oh, interesting question. He seems pretty consistent on this show. But, if you're asking about John in Kentucky anyway. But Ronnie /Baldman, trying to dox Baldman is Ronnie? I think he's pretty transparently himself as Ronnie. But anyway, don't get too messy in the chat, y'all. How many personalities he has. Ronnie seems pretty consistent in personality as well. Not in his views, but in his personality. He's too busy scrutinizing my views as inconsistent to be consistent within himself, maybe. Could be wrong. Thank you, Thor Mode. I don't know what this means. What are the LOL, laughing out loud, out loud, lots of laughs, something like that. Thank you, Jim in Alaska. Tebriga, no message. Tebriga. Walking Roscoe, salute emoji, Rich in Germany. Thank y'all kindly over there on those super chats. There were a couple here as well, okay? Not more than a couple, a few. So let me plow through these. I am overdue to read this from these coffees. Mike. Jaime. Shaking his head down with a contented smile. You Shabbos Goy. I looked up Shabbos Goy. And Elvis was that. Elvis. As a teenager in Memphis during the early 1960s, Elvis Presley acted as a Shabbos Goy, a non-Jewish person, performed tasks prohibited for observant Jews for his Orthodox Jewish neighbors, the Fruchters. Living in a duplex at 462 Alabama Avenue, doxed, Elvis turned on lights and appliances for Rabbi Alfred Fruchter on the Sabbath. Isn't that special? Anyway, continuing on. Jaime, you're basically Elvis. You Shabbos Goy, I thought I thought I was finished with you. Might as well go turning on lights off and on for your massa on Fridays. It's called Rabbi. Like, Zenny would obliterate you in a debate. You say to Canadian to fix their country before speaking on the USA. I never voted for that number 2 emoji. We follow your if we follow your logic, you, sir, should fix your state, Minnesota. Who's worse, Canadians for dealing with China or Americans getting scammed by low IQ Somalian? You tell me. Got him, Mike. Got him. Oh, Lordy. I'm going to read Eric's afterwards, but Mike, Elvis, Jaime, and Trump ego, and other people bashing. 10 coffees from Eric and 5 more from Eric on these things. I will get to them, but I want to get back to y'all's calls. COCO, L.A., California. COCO, thank you for calling and holding. Go ahead.
Morning, Hake.
Morning.
I was listening to Mr. John.
Yes.
And I do have to say, the tone. I'm saying this with love. I wonder if people hear their tone when they speak, because it reminds me a lot of when I would go visit my black relatives.
Okay. Are you still there?
So,
okay, yeah.
Condescending. It would sound so mean to me. Sorry, my head is really big.
So your phone can't reach both your ear and your mouth?
I don't know what it is. I keep pressing mute. I have like a weirdly shaped head.
Oh, okay. You must be.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have one of those cheekbone things sticking out.
Yes. 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 Thank you.
Right on.
So you hear from my voice. Anyway, it's the tone that is very condescending and aggressive. So that's what I hear when I hear him. And it just gives me a little bit of the, it was such a difference for me growing up being in the white world and being treated with like soft, and then go to like America and then be treated like really harshly. It's just such a difference.
Where are you from? Where were you before? Out of curiosity.
Oh, I grew up in Holland. So I was my mom left Louisiana when I was very young.
Yeah.
And I got to grow up in Holland. So I never grew up with the movies, all those trauma triggers. I don't have any of those. I never knew Rodney King. I didn't grow up like that. So the word is just, I've been trying to tell people this. Nobody wants to listen. But when you don't grow up hearing about race, it just doesn't exist, and you can just be free, and that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
But it's hard for a lot of people to understand. When they see you, they just immediately assume ghetto, poor, angry. So when I walk through life, I do notice, with people, they go like, ooh, what kind of black is she? Like, is she trying to scam us? Is she? I never knew, and Hake, I never knew that black women are like angry. I just moved here 10 years ago. I never knew anything about all this stuff. So it's just interesting to hear people argue so hard and sometimes be wrong so loud, because America is not the world. So
right.
Listening as a European and as like a lady, it's just funny. And I want to be part of the conversation because I noticed there's not a lot of girls calling in.
Nice.
So, Mr. John, I wonder if you hear how, like, when you go like, oh, stop stuttering, it's just like kind of rude.
Oh, yeah. That part was rude. Yeah, the other part, I didn't really pick up on him being disrespectful, other than that part was a little, well, it might be considered constructive criticism in his mind. I don't know.
Maybe.
But you're right. It's a little uncouth.
Uncouth, yes. A lot of Americans are very uncouth, I've noticed.
Yeah.
And you guys have no joie de vivre, a lust for life. It's not, you haven't been brought up with a lust for life. So and one thing one more thing about music. When you listen to like rap music, it's all like, I gotta go. The world's bad. I gotta hustle for my bread and this and that. And then you hear like the white music, time to get ready. We gotta work and party after. You know, there's such a difference in vibe.
Huh.
I grew up with the white music, very thinking. I have friends that are urban, and their whole mental attitude is just day and night. They don't get me, I get them.
Huh.
But it's just so. Anyway, I don't want to take up all your time, but I'll be calling a lot to like maybe talk about the differences between Europe and like even the black-white distinction doesn't exist where I grew up,
Yeah.
because the black people are like Asians here, you know, they're like Suriname, Caribbean, Nigerian. It's not one group.
Yeah.
So,
You're referring to in Holland is not one group,
yes,
or
yes,
okay.
yes. And it's just, but you know, y'all have imported your BLM to Holland, and it's destroyed
Wow.
everyone's relationship. The way that people are fighting there, like Amsterdam is a Jewish city, it's just people are now fighting. And it was never like that, because before 2015, I was kind of like going crazy woke because I was brainwashed by the internet.
Yeah.
I would stuff like that, and people be like, "What are you talking about? If you don't like," and now people have been brainwashed by the victim thing.
Wow.
And I grew up with people like, I grew up with activists. So everything that's happening now, I've all seen it. It's craziness. It's like Jesse says,
Yep.
the cause and the identity. And, you know, I love my daddy Trump.
Nice.
And I tell people that all the time. I love his smile, and I do love his can-do attitude. And people tolerate it. Since I'm in LA, you know, I'm black and I am MAGA, and they know it, they tolerate it. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hake, thank you so much for letting me talk to you. And Mr. John, I love you. Bye.
Nice. All right. Take care.
Take care.
Bye. Who knew that we exported communism? Not me, but communism from America caught fire in Holland. I guess because they had commies over there. And it's interesting. She mentioned, did she say Amsterdam was Jewish? I guess there's a lot of commie sympathizers among them. What a mess. All right, so I want to talk with John in Houston, Texas, on the line over here. John, how you doing, sir?
Hello, Mr. Hake. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
I thought Coco's call was very interesting. She sounded very nice.
Yep. I agree.
Do you think that
interpretation? Sorry.
So Trump is saying he has a big ego. If you don't have one, you're a loser.
I don't know if he is saying that, but he has said that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's an old quote. I don't know if he would stand by it today, but he raises an interesting point that a lot of achievement of the younger people is from their ego, their ambition, and that is sometimes you're not led by God to succeed, but you're led by self, this sense of self, this ego, to succeed and do great things. And they're truly sometimes objectively, like in the physical sense, great things.
Well, one thing I know is that things are happening like well, okay, let's say I'm in good shape. I'm not going to say if I am or not
Okay.
physically,
Nice. Don't dox your fitness.
but okay, I am.
All right.
And it's like a message. It's like transmits a message from my body. And, it's like a positive message. That's all I can say, really.
So you're present that your fitness, your fit body presents a message to the world that's a positive message overall, or a positive message
Not just to the world. It's just like a
yourself.
message from myself,
Yeah,
from my ego, really.
So your body sends positive vibes to your mind.
Heart and soul and everything. It's just how God designed you, I think, to have tools, right? So this gets into my next question. So the body is kind of like a tool.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, are we brainwashed by our phones and video games because we pick up a controller and our brain might think that's a tool, and so that's why we stay with it? Is it because it's a tool? I don't know.
What's a tool again? A mind?
The body, the muscles in the body, it's kind of like a tool. When you have, if you go and look up Ephesians, I think it's 5:15, it talks about, let us be one mind, from the head to the rest of the body, and that every joint is flexible. So flexibility, that's a tool from the body. And now we also use tools like men do use tools to make structures, like if you fix your plumbing, stuff like that. So I'm thinking, could be thinking, but I'm just posing a question for the world from my ego, right? Are we brainwashed when we pick up our phones and stay on our phones because we have something in our hand and our hand is thinking that it's a tool when it's technology? Is technology a real tool for the ego or for somebody else's ego to make money off of you and to keep your attention?
Yeah.
But that was a great call from COCO, and I liked her voice. And maybe she can get with me sometime. I'm in Houston.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Hake. Have a nice day.
You as well. Take care. Bye. Phone tool trick. Brainwashing. Tabriga with a with a super chat, as well as David with a follow-up super chat as well. Gotta dig deep, Hake, bro. What are you referring to? Dig how? Tabriga? Thank you. By the way, I like your Charlie Brown PFP profile pic. And David A asks, don't you hate this blinking? Doesn't it make you feel like you're going to get a seizure? I didn't know that blinking caused seizures until Eichenwald, whatever that guy's name was. You deserve a seizure for your tweet or your post or whatever. I disclaim and disavow that even. Do you use normal toothpaste with fluoride? I don't pay attention to it, so I might. Why might you ask? Does that have to do with that third eye mumbo jumbo? I don't mean to just call it mumbo jumbo. But does that have to do with the spiritual connection to the body or whatever? Dig deep. Fluoride? Question mark. Okay, some coffees here from Eric Coffees. then I'll get back to your calls. We're past the top of the hour. The human condition is lost in thought. We can't keep the mind where the body is while remembering what's important. The mind wanders into the past or the future, and we get lost in lies. Eventually, our life is almost over, and we never got that job, never got in shape, never wrote that book, never climbed that mountain, never slowly sipped a cup of coffee and watched the birds. We think, what in the world happened? He didn't say world. He said, F happened. And he just literally just wrote F, okay? So he didn't spell anything bad out, kids, ladies. The mind happened. We thought it was us, and we let it drag us into the gutter for 72 years. For example, you're letting the mind get you stuck in the snake pit right now. You're about to make another reactive comment. Why? Why? You're seeking another dopamine hit to distract you from the mind, answering the devil with the devil's words in your own mind to somebody else's devil words in their mind out into the snake pit. I'm putting words in his chat, but elaborating a little. From the hate in your heart, the resentment that you could confront if you just sat still and committed to the silent prayer. rebuildingtheman.com/silent prayer. Forgive and forget, or the mind will never be where the body is, and you'll wake up in the snake pit saying, what the happened? What the happened? And a follow-up 5 coffees from Eric H. It's impossible to see objective reality if you have 1 ounce of anger, even a bit of an ounce. The hypocrisy of your callers interrupting and insulting each other while claiming the other is brainwashed is fascinating. It's the brainwashing that causes you to want to defend a position, identify with a group, or point out a possible inconsistency. You know, Sir Eric, there, you remind me of straw man. Okay, so you know when somebody straw mans you, straw man argument. That's when they present something that you didn't actually say. But if you're ticked, they will trick you, or your ego will trick you, or whatever, will trick you into adopting and defending that position. It's like when you say no, and they say yes, and you say no, and you say yes, and then you say yes, and then they say no, and you're like, tricking you into adopting their straw man of your argument. Let's see if this is if the AI knows what I mean. Straw man argument is when someone deliberately misrepresents, exaggerates, or distorts your position into a weaker or extreme version to make it easier to attack, tricking you into adopting this false, distorted version. Often starting with, so you're saying, is a bad faith tactic designed to control the narrative, force you into the defensive, and derail the actual more nuanced topic. Okay. Misdirection. So you're saying, trap. Interested. Huh. All right. Anyway, nice. Thank you, Eric, on mind identity lostness. And what was the thing that he mentioned? Yeah. Anger. Right on, Eric. Thanks as always, sir. I got to get to Alan out of Michigan on the line here. Alan, Michigan. How you doing, sir?
Pretty good, and perfect timing. I really enjoy the writings of Eric Harland.
So
it really
do I.
gives you food for thought. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Well thought out stuff. I might not always agree with him, but my goodness.
Yeah.
If we all agreed, we'd be a cult, right?
Yeah, especially if there was some type of pressure. Agree. You can't leave type stuff.
Right. But the reason I call was basically that very fascinating conversation between John from Kentucky, the Black Israelite, and Haden from Texas.
Yeah.
And bring up some good points. Now, I'm going to and I've said this before, but I don't make a big deal out of it. My position, my lens of looking at the world historically and everything from Scripture, from what I believe is that the white Anglo-Saxon people and the kindred people, the white race generally, are the actual physical descendants of the Israel people. And I can prove it from Scripture and history.
He cut out there.
I'm sorry.
You said you can prove it from Scripture and history, and then you just came back right now.
Right. It's this wonky cell service up here. What can I say? The idea, and which now hold it. Who said what? Yes. Hayden, the Jews are not Israel. Well, yes, I would say an amen to that. But John brought up a very good point. And one of the reasons I don't, every time I call, I don't, get on my hobby horse and start saying, well, we're Israel all the time, is that it's true. According to Scripture, Israel was not to know that they were the people of the book. That will come later. But as far as the chosen people and where they would land or eventually settle, you will find it in the 7th chapter of Samuel. And I don't like to come up the works with a lot of Scripture, but I will quote two things. And it came to pass in verse 1, when the king sat in his house, referring to David, and the Lord had given him rest round about from all his enemies, the king said unto Nathan, the prophet, see now, I dwell in a house of cedar, but the ark of God dwelleth within curtains. Well, of course, this was when he started gathering the materials for would eventually be Solomon's temple. However, he goes on in verse 10. Now remember, David is living in the land, Canaan land, that they had taken over. He was at peace with all the nations around. He had the land, the people had the land. But then in verse 10, it says something very peculiar. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and I will plant them, and they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more, neither shall the children of wickedness afflict them any more as before time. Well, that's very curious, because eventually the northern tribes were taken in the Assyrian captivity. Judah was taken into the Babylonian captivity. They came back. Well, we know the story behind that. But there's a land apparently in the future. Well, I believe it's described in the Bible. And I'm just going to refer to the 18th chapter of Isaiah. People can read it. I'm not going to take a lot of time. But it basically says this, woe or ho in the Hebrew. It's a greeting, a word of greeting. To the land shadowing with wings. Well, God is described as with wings as an eagle, which is beyond the rivers of Ethiopia. Well, that's the rivers of Ethiopia would be the Nile River and its tributaries. And so he's looking west. There's a land west that this vision is talking about that sendeth ambassadors by the sea. Okay, it's across a great sea, even in vessels of bulrushes, and it goes on. And it says, go ye swift messengers to a nation scattered and peeled. Now, the Hebrew word means tall or lengthy. To a people terrible from their beginning. Now, think about America. When we had, even before the American Revolution, we were a nation that was a player, even though we were separated into states, on the world stage. And then it goes on to say, a nation meted out and trodden down. That is a surveying term. And what happened in 1787, the land was actually meted out and trodden down by the Ordinance of 1787, where we get that north, south, east, west streets that we have in the Midwest forever. and he talks about, and it goes right down to the end, and it says, whose land the rivers have spoiled or divided. That Hebrew word is divided. Well, we do divide it. The Mississippi, the Ohio, the Missouri River divides this land, and I'm including America and Canada in this. And then it finally says what this is. To the place of the name of the Lord of hosts, the Mount Zion. This was the Zion of the future, not that little piece of land that's in the Middle East. In fact, of course, there are prophecies that the Edomites, the enemies of Israel, and Amalek would come back one day and reestablish themselves. That sounds kind of familiar. So in any case, that's all I have to add. Just something for people to think about, realizing that this is my belief, and I guess people could call it a bias. And like you and Jesse say, you do what you want with this information. It's up to you if you want to look into the scriptures, and I know you have some callers that are very good on that. They will go into the scriptures and find this stuff. So I don't need to tell them the verses. They can look it up on a computer. Very easy. So that's my position, and I hope, again, that I give them some people things to think about.
So you're saying Isaiah 18 is talking about America.
The United States of America and Canada. And if you strike a line west from Jerusalem around the world...
Why not South America, too, out of curiosity?
No, it says to the west, and if you strike a line strictly from Jerusalem west, you have to run into America.
Oh.
It does not run into South America.
Oh, you're talking about west of Jerusalem, not west of Ethiopia.
Well, of course, it's beyond the rivers. So you're standing in Jerusalem. You've got the Nile River and its tributaries, and you're looking beyond that, west. It says west.
Yeah. Beyond
the rivers of Ethiopia. Now, if you strike it's really odd or revealing is if you strike a line north going around the obvious globe, flat earthers out there, it will take in a quadrant of the earth that includes where our people have settled. Russia, Europe, the Scandinavian countries, America, and Canada. Just in that. Now we go to we have South Africa and and Australia.
Right.
But this is basically where our people are centered and the power centers of the world are right now.
Yeah.
Huh. So again, just something to consider, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Nice. Take care. Bye. Jaime, Minnesota, is on hold here. Let me get to him. Jaime, thank you for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
How's it going, Hake?
Going well, thank you.
Hey, a lot of people talking about who the Jews are, I'm the Jew, you're the Jew, who, whatever.
Yeah.
Who the real one is. And it reminded me of a verse in John the Baptist. He says this to the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He goes something like, and do not think that being a descendant of Abraham means anything.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you, God can make descendants of Abraham from the stones.
Dang.
Right here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the real this or that is.
I'm with you on that. Totally.
And I never thought, you had that some lady talk about, who called in, thinking about whether they were black or what other people thought about them. I never thought about that in my days, even today. I don't sit around and think about what other people are thinking about me.
Nice.
That's R-worded. You have to be trained really into doing that. It's not natural.
You have to be trained
to think,
to be identifying with yourself and how people talk about you.
Yeah, you have to be trained to be a loser. Those are loser qualities.
Wow. So naturally, naturally untrained, we are winners. We are born
Absolutely.
winners, and we become trained losers, is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
By way of family.
And something that I love about Ronnie and John from Kentucky and Hayden.
Yeah.
They judge people by the content of their character. And I love that.
Yeah.
Even Michelle, my belle from Canada, judges me by the content of my character, what I say and how my decisions.
Right.
I like that. They don't judge me on the color of what they perceive the color of my skin may be.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I think that what's his name is actually a communist, MLK, because people do tend to judge people based on a notion of their character. Now, they may misjudge their character in many cases, but basically nobody judges based on color. Back then, they separated based on color, but they didn't really judge based on color. And so that line was really a communist inversion of what reality was, and it was actually switched because his dream actually brought about more judging based on color and assumption based on somebody's color. For example, a white cop, they judged him as a racist just because he did something to a black. So crazy.
Right, and we all naturally judge each other by the content of our characters.
Yeah. Or the
That's
perceived,
what we do.
Or the perceived content.
And what we do with that is up to us. What our values are dictate what our decision is. Now, John from Kentucky values his perceived idea of being a Jew.
Right. Or a Hebrew Israelite.
And he judges a guy by the content of their character. But what he does with that is his value. He doesn't like the white people. He thinks they're evil because that's what he values.
Right.
He judges a white man by the content of their character.
That's right.
And his value tells him that it's evil.
And that's how we know that racism doesn't even really exist. Because every racist, whether it's Mark in Los Angeles, who calls himself that, or John in Kentucky, who, when you ask him about it, he's like, I don't remember what he says. They're judging based on the character of one another, or the perceived character. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly natural. But, it doesn't matter who the real Jew is. It says there in the Bible.
That's right.
John the Baptist taught us that lesson.
That's right. John the Baptist said that. Yeah, I looked it up and I was thinking Jesus. I wasn't listening very clearly, apparently. Matthew 3:9 and Luke 3:8, that God can raise up children for Abraham from stones, meant that their faith, not physical lineage, not their blood, determines who is a child of Abraham, as God can create faithful followers from anyone.
It's the values that you hold onto.
Yeah.
That's what John the Baptist was talking about there.
Yeah.
The values.
And that's why a lot of the Christians say we're the real, you know how Mark from Los Angeles probably, I think, says that Christians are the real Israel, and others will say that at least. Galatians 3:29 says those who belong to Christ are Abraham's seed. Interesting.
Right. And you just don't think about it.
Yeah. Indeed. Right on, Jaime.
But they bombed that guy. They killed that guy, the replacement. I just learned about that yesterday. That's amazing.
Wait, which replacement?
For Al-Manini. The supreme leader. They got a supreme leader, a new one. They replaced him, and the guy ended up dead. 7 hours later, I heard.
Really? So
I voted for this.
Okay, so who's running now that the supreme leader is dead? 2 days ago, a bunch of article headlines. Interesting. I hadn't heard that, but that you may be right about that.
Also, Elvis Presley, the Shabbos guy,
yes,
he got paid for his services.
Nice.
So he was a productive member of society,
right.
Unlike those stinking Canadians, those Canucks. They
it.
need to learn to, be productive instead of having everything handed to them. It ain't gonna work once we make them America. They're gonna have their own little trail of tears that we're gonna make for them to get them out of our new property. Remember that.
Nice. Right on, sir.
And those Somalis, they're our Somalis. They're ours.
They're our Somalis. You don't talk about our Somalis.
Yeah, don't do that.
Nice.
Okay. Well, you have a good day.
You
Bye-bye.
as well, sir. Appreciate you. Bye. Anthony, SoCal, on the line over here. Anthony, thank you for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
Hey, Hake, am I coming through okay?
You are. Sounding great.
Nice. I had 2 points I want to get to, but first, why did John say that the ancient Egyptians were black? How does that fit into his narrative exactly?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my assumption about black people wanting the Egyptians to have been black is that they're on team black even when they're want to separate from other black people, but they want more and more people to be black because Egypt had a great civilization. And so they want it to be black, I think. But were they enslaved in Egypt, and was that black on black slavery? Whatever. I don't think that they thought about it in terms of race necessarily, just nation back then.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean,
nation was race, I guess, back then.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, I know that black in Arabic is Aswad, and that's Sudan, Sud, or modern day Sudan is the plural for Aswad. So, or Iswad. So, Sudan translates to the land of the blacks. And that's like the most direct translation. But yeah, I don't think the ancient Egyptians were black, unfortunately, for John. I don't know any black. What's interesting is you could have people, the majority of Egyptians in Egypt are Arab, because the Arabs colonized Egypt. But genetically, basically, it's that they're not black, but I don't think we're not really that white either.
Yeah.
But I was so one point I wanted to get to was replying to Popcorn's coffee from a few, maybe it was a week ago or so. He was saying, why do your immigrant callers, he was saying something about immigrant callers that, let me see if I could.
You guys immigrated to America, but now you're anti-immigrant. You think we have enough immigrants. Yeah.
Yeah. So even though I think he only referenced like Hispanics and I guess he referenced Africans too, but there's a big diff. I don't know if you remember, Hake, but so all the Coptics that I know immigrated from the 60s to the 90s, and when you immigrated here, it wasn't for the same reasons people immigrate today or like in the past 15 years. You don't immigrate for the same reasons. So back then, you would immigrate and you would literally be, whole families sharing one room, working full-time jobs, saving up money, getting their kids to school, getting college degrees, getting professional degrees. As a matter of fact, if you look at the statistics for Coptics that immigrate to America, we're vastly, which are, by the way, John, are the descendants of ancient Egyptians. I just want to throw the we was kangs in there.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. We're vastly more educated. We have a much, and I'm not trying to like brag on that, but I mean in the professional degree sense, and I don't mean I don't think I just want to make a point, not brag, but almost every family member I know, even in my extended family in my church, they're either like a lawyer, an engineer, a pharmacist, a building developer. It's like definitely contributing to the society. None of them really, and they're all conservative. Like everyone I know that's Coptic is a conservative, never voting Democrat. And when you look today, the people that immigrate here, they immigrate and they don't need to share rooms. They get Section 8 housing. They get food stamps. They have no desire to really work or climb up the economic ladder because all their basic needs are met. So my point is, to respond to Popcorn's coffee, there's a massive difference in the quality of immigrants from the 60s to the 90s and the the early 2000s and today. It's not even it's not even comparable, really. And I noticed that myself. My family notices that themselves. It's not the same. And so I didn't immigrate here. My parents did, but I don't want any of the low quality immigrants, honestly, because their incentive structure is not the same as the ones as the immigrants that preceded them. So, and that's I think what contributes to the degradation of society as a whole. And I think it's clear that the left is clearly just immigrating specific people just for their votes, just because they're installing this welfare state. And so it's a lot different. It's apples and oranges, Popcorn. It's not really the same. And you see that for yourself in society, or at least I do here in SoCal. So
do I, man.
Yeah, man. And I'm sure, Hake, you probably grew up with immigrants in your schools. Well, you were homeschooled, but
no, I did.
Immigrants who grew up, were they, I'm sure they were a bit different. Maybe some of them weren't, but for the majority of them, their parents cared about their schooling, I'd assume. They were much more on top of assimilating. There wasn't like this defiance to the American culture.
Right.
And my dad, I have no allegiance, even though my dad's from Egypt, he really taught me and my brother to have like allegiance to America. It's actually, I think we got that instilled in us much more than Americans that grew up in America, or like the white kids, for example. Like he really hammered it into us. Like I have no real connection to an Egyptian state identity, except when it comes to like talking about ancient Egyptians.
Right.
As far as like bloodline or whatever. So it's just a different time, man. You see people today, they're like, kids are immigrating here and they're taught to like be different, or in a bad way, or this land is here for you to like suckle dry, basically, the type of mindset, like get all the handouts you could get, use the resources with no intention to contribute back to the society or the economy as a whole, just a leech type of existence, for lack of a better word.
Yep.
And so it's just different people. Other thing I want to get to really quick was to follow from I know last I talked a few weeks ago on the gay marriage thing. I thought it was interesting. So the Bible explicitly condemns homosexuality and homosexual relationships. What's interesting, though, I realized in the Koran, there's no explicit condemnation of homosexuality. And people could look that up too. The only condemnation of it is in interpretations or exegesis of the text by scholars that came like 300 or 400 years after Muhammad. but within the Koran, there is no explicit condemnation of homosexuality. And, you know, what I didn't know, actually, I found this out recently, was, did you know, Hake, that in the Supreme Court there is a frieze of Muhammad, like not a sculpture, but like a wall frieze? You know what that is?
Yeah. Like a relief, maybe not necessarily a relief sculpture, but maybe a painting or whatever, some piece of artwork that's to Muhammad.
Yeah, it's one of Muhammad, and it's in the Supreme Court.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe that, man. And when I looked that up, I guess he's like one of the lawgivers. He was like they titled him as a historical lawgiver or something like that. And I guess that's why it's appropriate for him to be in the Supreme Court. And what's interesting is, and I shared this on Nick's show recently, but some of the laws are just depraved in Islam. It's something that it has no room in a Western civilization. And so I don't even know how they got it up there, since, you know, Muslims don't like illustrations or interpretations of the Prophet.
Right, you're not even supposed to depict him, huh? Have a depiction.
Yeah.
Well, it was, according to when I searched the Google AI, right? A marble frieze, F-R-I-E-Z-E, in the U.S. Supreme Court chamber includes a depiction of Prophet Muhammad, well, they spell it that way, as one of 18 historically significant lawmakers sculpted by Adolph Weinman, W-E-I-N-M-A-N, in 1935. So I don't know if that's a German guy or a Jewish guy. Artists tend to be, I don't know. Positioned on the north wall, holds a sword and the Quran, and they spell it that way.
What a joke.
Intended to honor him. 1935. Wow. It also shows Moses, Confucius, and Solomon, I guess, and others.
Interesting. Oh, I didn't know about that part. I wasn't sure who the guys next to him were, but
CARE asked for it to be removed in 1997. The Council on American Islamic Relations. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, it's no. Yeah, I was just. It's really a joke. I mean, that's a joke, man. I was telling Anchor Baby. Did you hear the comment I made on Anchor Baby's show about one of the laws Muhammad had about young men who spent the night at relatives' homes or anything like that?
No, I didn't. I don't think I caught that.
Okay, so really quick. So one of the laws Allah gave to Muhammad, because, you know, he's so wise and it's such a you know, beautiful, rich culture and religion they have. If a young man wants to, let's just say, Hake, and I won't even make an example out of you guys, but if and I also sent Nick in his Discord videos of news reports about this, so I'm not playing. I also sent him the sources in the hadiths about this. But if a young man wants to spend the night at a relative's house or a friend's house, and Muhammad had this issue with a young man, and he said, you know what? If you spend the night at a relative's house, you might be tempted by the mother. Okay. So in order to make this permissible, in order to remove your temptation, you need to suckle the mother for 10 suckles.
What the heck?
Okay. Yeah, I'm not joking. So it was 10 suckles, but the hadith that was on was eaten by a goat. So Allah said, okay, only 5 suckles from now on. So think about it like this. You have a guy with a mural or a frieze in the U.S. Supreme Court who is idolized for his law giving. And one of the laws he brings down from Allah is that a young man will not be tempted by a friend's mother if he suckles her breasts a certain amount of times. How amazing is that, Hake? Why is there a frieze of a guy like that in the U.S. Supreme Court? I have no idea, dude. But that's the level of deprivation. And I sent Nick an old news clip about it, and it was a news anchor, and it was a woman, and she had a cleric, a guy that looked like Khamenei on the news station, and she was reading the newspaper, and she was like, "What am I supposed to make out of this? If a coworker stays with me, is he really supposed to suckle me?" And he said, "Do what it says," and he started laughing. So these guys are just, and I could go on and on about the perverted, ritualistic lifestyle in Islam, but that's just one of I thought it was, once again, interesting. There is no direct condemnation of homosexuality in the Koran. So maybe he does, now thinking about it, maybe he does belong in the U.S. Supreme Court, given their recent rulings on homosexuality. Is it biblical? No. Is it from the same God? No. Is it wrong? Is homosexuality wrong? Yes, it is wrong, and I don't know why a book from Allah wouldn't condemn it. So, yeah, Hake, it's just the world we live in today, I guess.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution here.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, Hake. Anyways, I'll let you get to the rest of the callers, man.
All right, take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Woo. Over on YouTube, I did see another super chat come in or two. Here, let me close down some of these things. Look, there's Sudan. Pretty. Beautiful. Hey, buildings. Nice. Cool. Wonder who built that bridge, by the way. Wow, who built those mountains? So awesome. All right, so nice. Very nice. So cool. Shout out Sudan. Land of the blacks, according to reports. What is this? Okay. If I mosey on down to the YouTube, there are super chats. Just want to close some of these things. Him Diddy says, here's your super chat. Thank you, Him Diddy. Over there on the YouTube. Supers. Thank you, sir. Goal achieved. KLS says, Aisha's age is not in the Quran. I feel like I just said it like a Schwarzenegger. It's an extra biblical story or extra Quranical story outside of the Quran. It's all the weird laws and stuff you hear about in Islam are always from the hadiths, the stories. Okay, thank you, Kale. I was wondering if they didn't really have any bring up so-called homosexuality because it didn't come up back then. But I don't know. Who knows, different times, different issues. If we're on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report, I believe that there was something over here. Yes, indeed. Cesar or Caesar. Sup, Hake? I saw a documentary yesterday that raised a good point. Do you find it interesting that the Old Testament, that the Jews believe in states to have God's true name on it? Yahweh. YHWH. Yahweh. I think they leave off the... Do they leave off the vowels in order not to say his name? Kind of like G-D? Anyway, while the New Testament only refers to God as Father or Lord. What are your thoughts on that? Till next time, strong Dominican tan arm and tan thumbs up emojis. That the Old Testament, that the Jews believe in states to have God's true name on it. Believe in states? What do you mean by states? To have God's true name on it. While the New Testament only refers to God as Father or Lord. Well, they do all caps Lord. New Testament all caps Lord. Because they have lowercase Lord and all caps Lord, not to be confused with one another. In the New Testament, Lord in all caps, or small caps, but caps regardless, generally not used because it's written in Greek, which use Kyrios, Lord, rather than the Hebrew name Yahweh. Okay. Lord appears in all caps in some New Testament translations. Almost exclusively indicates a quotation from the Old Testament where the original Hebrew contained tetragrammaton. I almost said it grammation, but it doesn't say that. Tetragrammaton must be the Yahweh thingamajigger. Old Testament citations, King James Version, ESV, use Lord in all caps when a New Testament passage directly quotes an Old Testament verse. Lord versus Lord in the New Testament. Lord, proper case, typically translates Greek Kyrios, master or Lord, which can refer to Jesus or to God. Lord, all caps, specifically signals direct reference to the divine name used in the Old Testament. Translation differences. The use of all caps Lord is a typographical convention chosen by publishers to indicate the Hebrew name of God and is not based on the Greek text, which uses only lowercase, or in very early manuscripts, all caps for all text. While some hold that Lord in New Testament can refer to the Father, others suggest that in some contexts it applies to Jesus in reference to his divinity or kingness. You know, because the landlord, for example, is the lord of the land in the old medieval times. My lord, my lady, you're not calling each other God when you're referring to my lord. Yes, my lord. Interesting, I guess. Whatever. Is that your point, Cesar Caesar? Is that what you're talking about? I guess, because it's in Greek, they say. I can feel the AC. Nice. Supers, coffees, Lord, or Lord. Nice. I guess. I gotta get to Rick in Hampton, VA, on the line over here. Rick, thank you for calling and holding, sir. What's up?
Man, brother Hake, what's going on, my brother?
Not too much.
Everybody and their mom will listen to the Hake report for knowledge today, brother.
That's right. That's where you get it.
Yes, sir, man. Look, man, I think it was an interesting conversation. The guy that was from that was talking about Egypt.
Yeah, I liked that part.
You know, is he? What was he from?
Are you referring to Anthony talking about immigrants from Egypt?
Yes, him.
Yeah. Well, he was born here, but his dad, he's an anchor baby, I guess you could say, unless his dad became a naturalized citizen or his mother, parents, whatever. But yeah, he's a Coptic Christian from Egypt by bloodline.
Well, you know, man, I always say Adam and Eve, I believe, were biracial people. Then we all descended from Ham and his 3 sons.
What I don't get about this statement that Adam and Eve were biracial, so did they have parents who God did not consider, because they had to have parents who were of different races in order to be biracial?
Well, you know, God.
Are you saying that Adam was black and Eve was white, or Adam was white and Eve was black? Or Adam was mixed and Eve was mixed.
Exactly. That's what I believe.
But biracial means that biracial usually has to mean that you had parents. So
well, you know, in that nature. But I'm just saying, when God created Adam and Eve, He created them already mixed, if you will.
So they were. So were
black, white,
Asian, and black, white, and Asian.
Think about it,
or whatever else.
Correct. That's exactly what I'm saying. Basically, they were already a vegetable salad when they were both created. and I'm gonna tell you why I say that, Brother James.
Yes, sir.
Because I say that because during after the flood, Ham, supposedly the black race came from Ham, and then the white race came from Japheth.
Yeah.
And the Arab
they say.
and Israelites came from Shem, which they were pecan type color. So Japheth went north, where the Europeans are at. Shem stayed in the middle, where you get your Arabs and your Israelites from, and Ham went south, where you get your black folks from. And everybody intermingled, and you have a flavor color of people.
Interesting statement there, sir.
Yes, sir. Everybody intermingled, and that's how you get all these different colors of people.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't necessarily believe that the races came from Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Well, you know, after God destroyed the world, they populated the world. Scriptures say that. Yep, after God destroyed the world with the flood, then God left Ham. I mean, he left Noah, Japheth, Ham, and Shem, and their wives to populate the world. And it sprung out from there.
So Japheth is white. Shem are the Asians and Semites, and Ham was African, and the curse of Ham, because Ham told his brothers, "Hey, go look at Dad. He's naked and whatever else."
You know what? And ever since then, and it goes back how blacks are they so locked in on the Atlantic slave trade, not realizing the Egyptians were the first slave owners. They enslaved God's people for over 400 years. And according to the Bible, they were brutal.
Who was brutal? Ham?
The Egyptians, when they enslaved the Israelites. No, I'm saying when Egypt enslaved the Israelites, they were brutal to the Israelites. They were mean to them.
Were the Egyptians black Hamites?
Yeah, back there, they were black because Ham, Egypt is descendants of Ham. Egypt, Ethiopia are descendants of Ham. So they were black, but and how Egypt got real light skin instead of dark how they were because they was intermingling with different other races.
Yeah, I don't think the Bible is too concerned with the race stuff.
It's not. What I would say to me, blacks are more racist than anything. Even though they always fall back, the worst thing. See, that's why I love Brother Mark. I love how he called some of the blacks racist. And boy, blacks don't like when they are called racist.
Really?
But they love to call other people racist.
They can dish it, but they can't take it.
Exactly. They can call everybody Israel, but somebody turn around and flip it and say they racist. Oh, it's greed. Oh, my ancestors, all that. So no, your ancestors, but you ain't went through anything.
Right, or you haven't been through anything. But yes, or you haven't gone through anything. Right.
That's right, and that's all I'll be saying. You know, like I have even heard blacks when they in the hospital. They get to losing their minds. And say, oh, you're a white doctor. You here to kill us black folks. Now, if a white patient say that, they're gonna be trying to throw him out the window.
That's funny.
See what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
And it's sad, man, that no one talks about color, in my opinion, more than blacks do.
Right.
When you get around other Christians like Asian, white Christians, Hispanic Christians, Samoan Christians, no one talks about race more than blacks do.
Black, yeah, and it's not just black Americans now. It's like exported around the world. Everybody's exploiting it as much as they can. It's crazy, man.
Right. And God, no, it don't even matter to God. It's just that everybody want to feel validated, feel important.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Hayden was saying about them trying to be call themselves Israelites. It validates their ego. It makes them feel like satisfied.
Exactly my point. Yeah. I have even heard blacks say, "We're the original people. Everybody came from us." I said that's not true because if that case, if it was only black folks, it wouldn't be no other color races here.
Right.
You can't. I don't care if you're an all white person. You have no other genes in you, and you get with a white woman, and she's all white, has no other genes in her. You're going to have a white baby. No doubt about that. Now, if you get with one white guy that's all white and another and a biracial female, the baby's going to be sort of tan-like. You see what I'm saying, James?
Yeah, totally.
It comes from
I got to run, Rick. It's good talking with you, sir.
Oh, man. Hey, James, thanks for taking my call, my brother. Continue spreading the truth. Love y'all. God bless my brothers and sisters who are listening today.
Very nice. Adios, America. Mays, my favorite caller from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. Peace in the Middle East. See you tomorrow, hopefully. American Anchor Baby up next. Bye.